The Kengan Ashura anime is over, but that is not the end of the series. There is enough for many more anime seasons. This is because the direct sequel known as Kengan Omega continues this story and has even more content than what we got for Kengan Ashura. For example, that anime finished with a total of 52 episodes. Part 1 had 12 episodes, Part 2 12 episodes again, and then the entire season 2, which fully came out recently, with 28 episodes concluding the Kengan Ashura story, covering 236 chapters of the Kengan Ashura manga, at least for the most part, as there was quite a bit of cut content in the anime. While right now for Kengan Omega, we already have 275 chapters, with a new one dropping every week, showing no signs of slowing down, and I truly believe we'll be reaching over 400 chapters for this manga, meaning they have enough content already for at least 55 episodes. However, I have some issues to address throughout today's video, therefore before you leave the Mysterious Weeb YouTube channel today, you'll have a full understanding of the next anime and what is Kengan Omega. So I've already received quite a few comments asking if Kengan Omega is canon. Yes, it is. It's the continuation of the story, taking place at first 2 years after Kengan Ashura, 2 years after the Annihilation Tournament, with most of the characters from that series returning. Think about it as the Naruto Shippuden to the original Naruto, or maybe even what Boruto is to Naruto. But if I'm being honest, it's more like something in between those two, which will be made clear later in today's video. Also take note, as always, there'll be a bunch of random articles or people claiming they know the release date for the Kengan Omega anime. I wouldn't trust any of these until something official is released by either Netflix, the animation studio, or the manga creators such as Sandrovich the author, Daro the artist, and the editor, who always post updates for stuff like this, as I do believe they work directly with the creation of the anime as well. Therefore, right now, we have no information from any of these sources about the Kengan Omega anime being in the works, a release date, or anything like that. If you hear anything different or people spreading various dates or something like that, it's probably just them making up stuff, so take it with a grain of salt until something official, which when we do get something like that, I'll be breaking it down on the channel, so make sure you're subscribed. I make Kengan videos, have been for years, playlists with over 200 on the channel. But with all this said, I am kinda concerned about one thing. The Kengan Ashura manga concluded with pretty much setting up this direct sequel. This was actually cut from the recent anime season, the reveal of these very important characters, meaning it's possible that the animation studio doesn't plan on actually creating the Kengan Omega anime anytime soon due to them removing this, or maybe they're saving it for some type of trailer. As a reminder, the animation studio for all the Kengan Ashura seasons is this one, Lark's Entertainment, which as you see here is a fairly new studio, part of this studio or a branch of it, which doesn't really have too many anime under their belt, and by far their most popular one is Kengan. Another one you guys may have seen is this one, the recent Tekken anime that's also on Netflix, which didn't do too well, but it was a cool little watch for what I saw. And even on the official website, they also promote the Kengan stuff with the breakdown of their animation, CGI style, and how they got the character models, etc. Therefore, depending on how well Kengan Ashura performs on Netflix, which you guys didn't know is actually pretty well above a lot of the other animes globally, which is impressive considering Netflix is still to this day the biggest streaming platform in the world, and the fact that currently we have no other announcements of them working on a different anime, meaning it's likely they're going to be creating Kengan Omega or have already begun production, but again, no official information, but I do predict it's going to come out at some point in the future, yet again on Netflix with the same animation style. But speaking about Kengan Omega, I've seen some people recommend or want the anime to kind of make some changes compared to the manga, whether it be change the actual story around. I don't believe this is a good idea and don't think anything like that's gonna happen. At the most, it'll be similar to Kengan Ashura, where they cut a lot of the side content, which is gonna be a little harder to do for Kengan Omega, as it isn't just one big tournament, there's multiple tournaments and arcs that just aren't tournaments themselves, meaning the cutting of specific content may make it even harder to follow. So for the best outcome, I want them just to cover everything from the manga, which will require multiple seasons, potentially much more than the Kengan Ashura ones, which I'm going to be breaking down now. Every major arc in Kengan Omega so far, and what sections will be placed in specific seasons throughout the release of the Kengan Omega anime. But before that, did you guys know I have a second channel known as Mysterious Chad, where I post bonus content for Kengan as well, which includes a breakdown of the current top 30 strongest in Kengan Omega provided by the Reddit community, my thoughts on how the story should have handled one of the most badass characters known as Edward Wu, and much more stuff coming as well. You have now reached the major spoiler section, so check out Gamer Subs with free worldwide shipping. So season 1 I think is going to include the, of course, introduction arc where we have the two new protagonists, Koga and Roki, the build up of all the worm stuff in the background, a few Kengan matches with new characters we've known from the past, and then conclude with the major reveal in all of Kengan Omega so far, that Tokita Oma is still alive, returning alongside Kure Ryan, revealing how he's alive, what he's been doing over the 2 years, all of that, which for reference was in chapter 50 on the manga, which I deem as the introduction arc to Kengan Omega, which directly builds up and leads into the first tournament arc of Kengan Omega, Kengan vs Purgatory, which officially begins on chapter 57, which I believe will be the conclusion of season 1. Of course, this will all depend on how many episodes are in these seasons, but to make it clear and concise with hype moments over and over, this would be a good way to end it. Therefore, season 2 to season 3, or if they want to break it up into parts, who knows what Netflix is going to do, will be the entire Kengan vs Purgatory tournament with the following fights: Gao Lang vs Carlos Medel, Rito vs Falcon, Julius vs Towa, Misasa the current Fang of Metsudo vs Yumi Monkey Boy, a Fang during the time skip, Roki vs Naden, Kanogito vs Lutien, Kure Ryan vs Alan Wu, Jaime vs Dorota, Akoya vs Nicholas, Nitoku vs Ludong, Okubo vs Tarashi, Wakatsuki vs Faye, and then the final, Oma vs Lolong, which is the main tournament, but there's a few stuff outside of the tournament that occurs which may be included in the second part of season 3 or the conclusion of season 3, something along the lines of that, which includes the Kure clan vs Edward Wu and his spares, the return of characters like Hatsumi and Rei vs some worm fodder, Joji and Koichi fighting or beating up ZG, the whole Jaime plotline coming to an end, all that stuff. Then for the future seasons, as we do have another time skip in Kengan Omega with the introduction of the major players when it comes to the antagonist or worm, particularly Shenwu Long, the return of Edward Wu with the resurrection or introduction of Gilbert Wu, more Koga training with various other characters, Oma wanting to teach Koga the Nico style, his fight with ZG, the other tournament, the low tier tournament, I'll call it the Berserker Bowl occurring, which all could be maybe one season. Then after that we have the inside arc with many lore reveals about the Nico style, all the stuff about Gai Mukaku, Shenmulong greatness, which directly connects to what's going on right now, the champion tournament, the return of Ryan after his training time skip, with the manga sitting at round 2 of the champion tournament with wild fights occurring, which could be up to season 5 for an anime of Kengan Omega. There's a lot of stuff that happens in Kengan Omega compared to Ashura. It's not just one tournament, there's multiple tournaments, there's training arcs, there's lore reveals, there's new characters, a lot of wild things, with there even being a new Annihilation tournament set up for the future of the Kengan Omega manga, which by the time they get to the point of adapting something like that, we could have like 100 more chapters and the 4th tournament in the manga occurring, so Crazy stuff. As I mentioned at the start of the video, a potential for over 400 chapters in this manga. Wild times. Definitely recommend catching up to the manga and joining the Discord, the community I've been growing over all these years. And of course, shout out to these members, these absolute mad lads. That's it guys, peace.